get started. Nouns versus Eternal Fire.
Here we go. Pistol round live, and there's going to be moves being made here by Nouns as well. They will not sit by idly. They will not die wondering. And Major, well, he does die wondering what he could have done differently, and that's going to force Eternal Fire's hand into the A-bomb site now because they've lost the player on the opposite side of the map. Nouns
are actually reading this one really well as well. I mean, it's obvious what Eternal Fire are doing, and Nouns are starting to gamble for that straight away. And it's not even a gamble. Rotation behind is very quick. Look at those flanking players on right, on the X-ray. Below all the Eternal Fire members, and they're going to get picked apart one by one here. Cynic will get another. Marky gets the last. And if you want to see Nouns play well in this tournament, as we've said, they've been boot camping a lot in EU. That is the way to do it. Good reads to start off this BO1.
Yeah, my only concern is Tyloo won both pistol rounds in the map before this, or the match before this, and they won, what, a total of 5 rounds in the entire map. So not going to get ahead of myself here. I like that there wasn't any stark emotion from Nouns after they won that pistol round as well. So it's business as usual, and they're backing themselves. They know what they're capable of, and that's the perfect way for them to start off proceedings.
It is, it is. And of course, yeah, as we said, they have been boot camping in EU for a little while now, have Nouns. And it's interesting they've decided to go back to Cynic as the in-game leader. I kind of agree with Alan in the sense that kind of have to stick to one. From what I heard, Carson was quite enjoying that role in that boot camp and was taking it very seriously going into this big period for them. But yeah, the truth is for this roster, Marky is the playmaker. He's the star. He's the one that needs to step up in so many given situations. CJ can be the X factor, but even when he's not, they rely too much on Marky. And sometimes Marky can fall off a little bit on LAN historically. Thankfully, B-Wills is their safe pair of hands. Just a matter how long it takes for Eternal Fire to warm up into this game. Because if they start cold, and you never know, Nouns can make something of this.
Yeah, MR12, BO1, man. If there ever was a way, this is how it's going to be. Wakadia with a Glock catches Cynic. That is almost unforgivable. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the bomb, so he's not going to be able to do anything off the back of this position. Yeah, Eternal Fire would be the first European or non-North American team, should I say, obviously coming from Turkey rather, that Nouns would beat. They have not beaten a non-North American team before, Trav.
Yeah, and that kind of says it all, really. When it gets to these international lands and international opportunities for Nouns, they just can't deliver on that big stage. And they've obviously sort of been together for quite a while now, despite changes back and forth. The thing is, the same can be said for Eternal Fire, weirdly. I doubted their decision to drop X-Cloud. I thought it was the wrong one, because it would just add to the ridiculous, almost comical repetition of roster moves that Eternal Fire did. But obviously the star they found from their academy in Wakadia, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's obviously worked out very well for them.
I mean, I've always just likened it to a revolving door, man. Just players coming in and out the entire time. Either way, let's see if Eternal Fire can get themselves on the board here. Going to be a pretty stock standard approach coming through from them off the bat. Burn through a bit of their utility, assuming they haven't dropped any. Great flash. Wakadia goes for the spray, though. Didn't have to go for the spray in that situation. Just a tap or two would have got the job done. So opening kill denied. Look at the weaponry Nouns have to work with as well right now. 4 MP9s and an M4. This is Eternal Fire's prime opportunity to get themselves on the board.
Yeah, this is a double bonus round, it feels, for Nouns. Usually in this sort of situation, you have at least one more M4 or maybe a FAMAS. They have those 4 SMGs they have to try and play aggressively with, you would think. But right now they're just playing pretty regular, stock standard. Roxic, of course, on the Krieg as well. Can't get the AWP out. As well get a scoped rifle. And Woxic is a point of contention for me on this team. He has been very poor, in my eyes, on the switch over to CS2.
Oh, yeah.
He's really been struggling, and I really need to see him step up.
He's got a sub 1.0 rating in CS2 so far, and that is not something you'd associate with Woxic. However, Eternal Fire march on in towards this B-bomb site, fragging left, right, and center. SMG's unsuccessful. I mean, they've made a bit of a mark, a bit of damage inflicted, but the round's certainly going to go the way of the Turks.
And as it should, to be honest, against the weaponry they were facing, of course. That is the likely outcome. Xantares will get off the board. And yeah, a lot has been spoken about Xantares, of course. How can you not speak about Xantares?
Yeah.
Top of his game, it feels like, for at least the last 6 years almost, dating back to Space Soldiers. It's actually insane how long he's kept that longevity going when it comes to his numbers.
And you got to look at how well he's transitioned into CS2 as well. He's played 19 maps and he has a 1.3 rating across those maps, slightly eclipsing his rating in CSGO. And you got to think about the strength of CS2. You know, people regularly talking about Pika's advantage as well. That's going to play into the strength of Xantares' playstyle. He's the guy who's happy to force gunfights, happy to get into the faces of his opponents. And now, AWPs have been nerfed as well, so Xantares is just laughing all the way to the bank, man.
Xantares' peak has never been more prevalent.
Exactly.
I think it's fair to say. But, you know, as Tea Time said, Wicadia peak is getting up there as well at this point.
Yeah.
He's pretty nuts on that
He's cooking.
too.
He's cooking.
He is cooking.
We'll give him a bit more time. Yeah, this is the thing now. Nouns, this was the bonus round you were referring to. It's still a FAMAS and an MP9 to try and patch up the gaps, though. Eternal Fire win this, an anti-eco. After that, they get the lead as it's early aggression up ramp coming through, but
nice.
Nouns have got some aggression of their own. Beautiful set of util. The flash is fantastic there from Carson, and Marky gets in on the action as well.
Honestly, if Nouns are going to win this game, which for me would be a pretty monumental upset, that's the sort of thing we need to see them do. Take control, don't sit back.
Yeah.
Marky tries to take a little bit too much control, and he'll be removed. And there is CJ, and when Xantares is at the bottom of ramp, he can just headshot you any given opportunity. Thankfully for Nouns, they make it awkward for him, and Carson swings with that MP9. Major, though, is lurking around. He still has a chance in this one. Oh, almost that what would have been third kill in the round. 1v2 now.
My concern here from Nouns is that yes, it's great, like you said, they're taking initiative and they're being proactive, but they need to know when to reel it in, when to call it a day there. They didn't have to keep forcing the issue in the 5v2. You got to lock in your profits, take them to the bank. No need to continue to ask any more questions at that point. Force Eternal Fire to make the next move. That could have snowballed out of control with Xantares getting a second kill. And you can't discount Major's attempt now, potential in the 1v2. He's got the bomb. He's found a bit of a gap right now, making his way over through window. The B bomb site's open for business right now.
This is very winnable, let's put it that way. I really have a feeling this could be a chance for Major. B-Wills is going back to give that a glance, but of course, Cynic's just playing retake. I'm sure that bomb attack will be heard. Yes, it will. And now Major, if he's aware of the possibility of the ramp player, now it's a 1 versus 1. Cynic has a kit and he has utility, but Major is repositioned beautifully. Surely the death cam, B-Wills would have come. He's maybe walked back toward the stairs, but he's playing quad and Cynic might just be about to shift into this angle. Oh, Major had his chance, but that is a real big 1v1 for Cynic.
Yeah, brilliant awareness there from Cynic not to get sucked into his previous position and start to just think he must have gone stairs. Really just good awareness and heads up play coming through from the IGL. It actually looks like he's sitting on the extremity of the table. That's not normal for the IGL. Normally, he's in the middle of the pack, so there's something different.
Perhaps. Maybe they hadn't got the seating right. It only recently just changed back to him before the event.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Either way.
Or he just doesn't care.
Yeah, true. Just plays by his own rules. I still stand by my point there, though, that Nouns need to just make sure they don't overplay their hand when they get early advantages in the round.
Yeah, I mean, that is a round that is obviously very expensive, and it might cause future pitfalls with the economy. Arcadia, bottom of ramp, of course. Vertigo, still a map that's pretty hated by pros, I would say, but at least on CS2, the change-up of being able to nade those ramp smokes to break them, as usually the communication is between teams these days, is a strong possibility. And Woxic with that Krieg will use that scope to good effect. We'll get that pick on toward Carson. And now we're all grouping back toward B. I think this is going to be a pretty hard hold for Marky.
Yeah, he's going to have to make his mark here on this one. The sole B defender right now. Some rotations gravitating in his direction. He's blinded up. He's burning. Continues to be flashed on the angle. Still somehow able to come away with the frag, though. That's really good from Marky. At least leaves the round somewhat doable here for his teammates, but it's a man advantage for the T side, and the bomb plant's going to follow suit.
Yeah, and Woxic will spray down Cynic as well. Unless B-Wills finds this second right here, right now, I don't think there's much of a chance. Calyx actually facing with the bomb out there. Thankfully, time is not too much of an issue, but of course they have utility. And now look at the health. They would have heard that burning, of course. It's very loud in CS2, that sound cue ticking to that Molotov. And Woxic and Calyx, 38 HP combined between the two of them. B-Will spots Major, but Unfortunately, Major is the one to hit the shot. CJ, very stuck. Should know that both are ramp now. He's wearing a white box bait in, but it's not to be. He'll pick up a little few bits and pieces on the way out, but it is just a save.
Yeah, I mean, Nouns were always chasing the round after they lost that initial pick. The nade stack in towards the top of ramp, gets the early kill. Eternal Fire are thinking, okay, we get the early frag ramp, let's just double back, head over towards the B side. Probably going to just be only the one player. They read the situation phenomenally well, and they're able to convert the round as well. So that's a great round for Eternal Fire to win, just to make sure that Nouns don't get any momentum here off the bat.
Yeah, and there's a reason why, of course, we're all mostly on the side of Eternal Fire. I mean, you just can't ignore what they did in Pro League. 9, Liquid, C9, Big, Astralis, all dispatched 2-0. Actually crazy that it was so clean for them. I think you've got a good stat about their 2-1s, though.
Yeah, I mean, they need to win cleanly because they haven't won a best of 3 that goes to 3 maps since April this year. So it has been ages since they've won a BO3 that's gone 3 maps. Sure, 2-0, same as their Parry Match LAN event they played recently. They won a number of best of 3s there, all 2-0. But when it gets that 3rd map, they just seem to run out of gas.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm sure they would have considered themselves strong favourites to at least put up a great fight in that Parry Please final. But Seeds, 9 Pandas, farmed them 3-0 in a BO5. It was actually kind of destructive. So yeah, kind of crazy that they couldn't even get a map in that final. And they need to start winning those sort of games and getting some LAN victories, because that's what adds to that confidence. Their run might have been nice, and as you say, they didn't have too many reps on CS2. So at least making a run there will help them here. But to lose so convincingly in that final is a surprise. I thought that would be quite a long run BO5. Major will once again get an opening pick in this one. It's just Nouns with MP9, 5-7 Deagle and A1S remaining. 1 gun for each player. Yeah, and lose this round and Eternal Fire get the lead. Obviously, scoreline would be leveled up, but it would be an eco round afterwards for Nouns. And it's just a lot of pressure over towards A. All of fake, though. They've drawn rotations perfectly. And with that, they execute in towards B. No defense on that side of the map. Nouns going to have to settle for the save, and Eternal Fire now settling into their groove. Honestly, that was quite a nicely called round from Eternal Fire. Maybe didn't even need to be that elaborate. I mean, it's one of those sort of rounds where I'm sure they could have just ran up ramp, won the Angels and won the round, but you can't do that all the time. And Major getting that opening pick toward B, calling pause. Yeah. Go for a bit of noise underneath toward A. More damage done there. And then back toward B again once, as you say, they pulled those rotations away. Cynic's just trying to be a nuisance here. Maybe to try and get an Eternal Fire player to die to the bomb, but I think it makes sense for him to save his armor because he's still got a helmet as well. Yeah. Into that next round. Still kind of gives them a bit of bite to work with coming into this next round here on the CT side, although it's going to be an eco. They've got the 2 M4s and there's that carried through Desert Eagle as well. Eternal Fire jersey is looking pretty nice, I must say. I like the gold logo. I do like the gold logo. I do say that I love that shade of blue, but I think they're going to change something. That's not a bad thing. It's like a vision board, man. They manifest in gold. They want that gold medal. First place is what they're after. Maybe. I mean, yeah, there's absolutely no doubt they'll come into this event thinking they can win it. Yeah. Nouns have spent all their money. I guess saving those 2 rifles kind of coerced them into going for the force buy here. This was a bold decision out of them, though. It is bold, but in a BO1, MR12, sometimes I think you have to be a little bit bold. You have to stay in touch. I don't know, man. I would have preferred the eco myself. I mean, how much better does this buy actually look than what they would have just had carrying through? Not even like there's a huge improvement, and now you've risked it all with the investment. I agree. It's most certainly a risk, but in the sense of at least we can get 3 rifles. That is the majority. I don't know. I think it is a very hard one. I don't know which way I would fall on it. I think in this situation, I don't mind it. I've seen worse. Let's put it that way. I've seen worse investments. But as you say, it could certainly hurt them long term. And that is the risk in such a short game. Major, lots of damage done, and CJ, no chance whatsoever there. Yeah, really good little re-peek there from Major after he ducks down, able to finish off what he started onto CJ. That's one of the rifles on the deck as well, by the way. B-Wills gets cleared by Calix.
surely not a second, right? Yeah, gets out with his life intact. He has the info. There's still at least another player on the B side. And I reckon that's going to be enough to prompt the other team to push into A.
Just Marky and Cynic remaining, and Cynic can't do anything. 2 headshots for Xantares, just like that. Marky left to try and save once again. And yeah, I mean, Calyx had that, unfortunately, he gave away his shadow advantage to his enemy, but yeah, he had a right eye peek and his enemy had a left eye peek, unfortunately.
To quote Richard Lewis, how's your force by today?
Ah, there you go.
Not looking great, not even a single kill.
Just don't say that last word in that sentence.
Yeah, no, I want to keep my job. This is my debut here. I don't have as much room to work with as my my normal online work. I reel it in.
Xantares and all of Eternal Fire staying alive, bolstering that T economy ever further. They're going to be on what? Maybe 6k per player, maybe 7k per player. There you go. Just makes it even harder for Nouns to break down. At least, Nouns, they might have one gun. It's a question of how you activate it. It's on their star of Marky. But as I said, sometimes this roster can rely a little bit too much on him. Especially internationally, it's a bit too much. We're going to see that right eye peek come in here. Yeah, B-Wills had that shadow advantage, got the dink, but unfortunately, that is the way CS works.
Yeah, Calyx quick on the trigger, man. And now it is going to be an eco round coming through from Nouns. The first time they've kind of had to bend the knee and settle for a full save here on the map. They won the pistol. Haven't been able to do a huge amount since then. Sure, they converted the pistol as well, but only the 1 gun round going their way so far. Xantares, that is a tasty headshot. And at this point, you already mentioned Eternal Fire's money. They're only going to continue to build on that cause.
Yeah. Wicadia catching off Marky with that gun, the Molotov, towards sandbags. I don't know, obviously you want to try and maybe the pistols are trying to bake that M4 in perhaps on sandbags, but if Eternal Fire don't throw at least 2 mollies into that position, then they're going a bit cuckoo, I think. So yeah, it was never going to work out for Marky. This is where it begins though. Nouns have to get a foothold back in. They started well. It's almost a pretty similar pattern to how Tyloo looked in their opening BO1. At least Nouns managed to secure that third a bit earlier this time and haven't lost to a weird buy yet.
Yeah.
But I haven't really had Cynic up on the AWP properly yet either, so that's something they need to get into play. Maybe they'll go full Cloud9 and not even put in an AWP in on some occasions.
All right, well, they are going to be looking to try and get aggressive here towards the stairs. Eternal Fire already have the control, and they're ready for re-aggression as well. Marky off the flash, actually gets blinded up. Now he's in the molly. Damage going, being traded both ways here. The one sort of silver lining for Nouns is that Eternal Fire normally do most of their heavy lifting on the T side. They have a 45% win rate on their CT side and a 57% win rate on their T side.
Yep. It all adds up.
So I'm thinking if Nouns can get 5 here, I reckon they'll take that.
There's a chance. There is a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Wicadia in mid, just proving to be a little bit of a nuisance, of course. Just staying silent though for now. CJ, long range duel down ramp, and actually, it's Carson to be taken down to 1 HP out of all of that.
Lots of damage going back and forth right now, but no fatalities just yet.
Yeah, clock ticking down, 40 seconds. Calyx looking to try and make a move on the top of that smoke, and thankfully B-Wills gets vision on him. That smoke is a little bit harder to put into practice. There was obviously a one-way used in CSGO that was very common in that position. Carson, incredibly, actually gets that nade kill. So they have a 4v3. Wicadia taking B-Wills, but now with 20 seconds to go, they're going to really have to hurry up here.
Where are they going?
Xantares will at least manage to find the 1 HP of Carson, and okay, you say where are they going? If they can just hit headshots like that, then who cares? That's classic Eternal Fire. 3v2, Xantares finds CJ, bomb will go down with 6 seconds to spare. Cynic though, he's already here, and weirdly, they're spread out all over the map at the moment with that bomb going down on B. What a weird strategy. Usually you want to go in as a team. In this instance, they most certainly didn't, but Major gets away with it.
I don't think they had the luxury of going in as a team because they were split up, and the kills that came through from Nouns also just kind of isolated the Eternal Fire players, but they read the situation very nicely. Wicadia is the one who really unlocks around with that kill in towards mid, creates a lot of space, takes the attention as well, which allows for his teammates to rotate around, and if you're Nouns, losing a round like that is a disaster.
That is a rough one. didn't seem like they really had too much of a clue what Eternal Fire were doing. Maybe
I don't think
because
Eternal Fire yeah, exactly.
High five. Like, I don't think they necessarily knew either. So if you don't know, how are they going to know?
Yeah. At least there's damage, but the problem is money's no matter. Money is no object for Eternal Fire at this point. Certainly is for Nouns, who are going to have to settle for an eco. I do like the option they're employing right now, though, just going for something alternative in the eco, stacking themselves up towards the top of ramp, hoping that once Eternal Fire aggress, they can set up a crossfire and maybe catch that T-side off guard.
Yeah. Pistols could be about to burst their way in. Eternal Fire will need to be ready for it. And they're not ready, at least for CJ. Voxic gets one back, but it's even so far until Xantares says hello once again. He'll up his tally to double digits now. 3 versus 2, B-Wills and Cynic remain, and Calix is about to clear out B. There's only one player here, and that's an MP9 stuck behind Jen. He's going to probably want to try and make a move here, B-Wills, but now the information is known.
Yeah.
He's incredibly stuck. If you can get one kill back and maybe get a teammate into play, there's a chance for more damage, but Major is ready for that. One thing I will say about Major in CS2, he has actually, and to be fair, toward the end of Global Offensive course on that ridiculous Pro League run, he has been very decent individually as well.
Certainly something to look out for. I do like the way that Calix is playing his lurk role at the moment. He's constantly giving Eternal Fire the option to rotate back to B if they need it. Always applying pressure, never letting Nouns rotate anybody out of that bomb site either. Keeping them interested, keeping them occupied. 7-3, and Eternal Fire lost the first 2 rounds of this map. They've won 7 out of 8 since then, and they're in complete control.
Yeah, and it actually is a very similar pattern to our first Beer 1 of ESL Challenger Jönköping.
So at that point, losing the pistol's a bad omen. Winning the pistol, should I say,
yes.
rather. We've seen 3 pistol rounds won by the losers so far, assuming.
We are assuming.
Yeah, maybe getting a bit of ahead of myself.
I know. You're the one who picked Nouns, mate. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. I got to have a bit more faith in the lads. They started well.
Calix, that's a good start for Nouns in this round. That's probably a maximum damage nade there, down to 46 HP. But Arcadia, look how deep they are in CT spawn. Thankfully, Cynic has something to say about it. Gets feedback in response, and now a massive pinch coming in from Nouns. A flash through the elevator smoke. And Major is left 1 versus 4. Great pinch there from Nouns, and Major will be sent 51 floors to his demise. But with the last round of the half coming in, Eternal Fire might still be in command. At least if Nouns get that 5 you brought up, it will give them a shot.
It's a possibility. That was one of the messier rounds we've seen from Eternal Fire. They decided to abandon their default approach where they were getting really good map control and then working into an exec from there.
Cynic loving that one.
Yeah, they decide to just go for something different, try and catch the CT side off guard. Yeah, doesn't work out.
Yeah, nice spray from Cynic though, through the top of that smoke, of course. It's the edges of smokes that really, when you put some ammunition through them, they really can give you some information. And Calix in his default spot under B stairs there, destroyed by Marky. You mentioned Calix. He's actually been, for me, was one of the most improved players in that Pro League run that Eternal Fire had. He was looking as sharp as the likes of Arcadia and Xantares. Of course, not in necessarily as much of a star role. It's Voxic who is the question mark, and if we want to look back through the rest of the tournaments they played in CS2 and look forward to this tournament, he's going to have to play well if Eternal Fire want to win the whole thing. Arcadia will get an entry toward ramp to recover it back into a 4 versus 4. Minute to go.
Yeah, Voxic's got the AWP here for the first time. I'm pretty sure in the half we've seen the sniper in his hands. He's had the scoped rifle, and there we go. With his beloved big green gun, he will find an opening frag, at least in terms of opening up the A bomb site. Second kill comes through onto Carson as well. There will be a rebuttal out of Marky, but not just 1, but 2. That's his 3rd in the round, and he's doing everything he can to try and get that 5th on the board for Nouns.
Denying the bomb plant. Impressive stuff. Marky, will stop Major. Major tries to go aggressive on the top of double stack, and it leaves Voxic actually in a clutch now. Needs a 4K for this one, but B-Will spots him on the corner, and that's a lovely way to end that half for Nouns. They'll be feeling a lot better after that one. We're going to go to a quick break. When we're back, second half.
action. And when the night is done, you like that interaction. We're going up, down, just keep it on the floor. That's right. Gotta be up till you take no more. We're gonna get down. We're gonna get down. It's your satisfaction. Everybody just wants you there. Give them some attraction. Come on up and just pay the fare.
On a map that favors aggression, Eternal Fire actually only able to muster 7 on that T side. And I think that will give Nouns some hope, Matthew.
Yeah, I reckon 5 is a baseline. I think they'll still consider themselves in. I mean, the odds don't look great for them, but they will fancy themselves. Can they win the second half pistol round? It will be the perfect way for them to ignite their campaign.
Let's see. It's pretty critical, otherwise we could have Eternal Fire at a 10-5 relatively quickly. But yeah, I always felt like Eternal Fire, this map, they are better on T side, they are on CT. Might sometimes vary that. I just like their aggression. It's just so fun to watch, which is why T side sometimes feel pretty amazing. But only 7, I say only. Nouns will be relatively hopeful. Some presence at the bottom of ramp. Calix just looking to go back and forth on that one, perhaps bait them into the Xantares boost. But Nouns aren't biting yet.
Yeah, overplayed his hand there, did Mr. Calix.
Ooh.
And although Xantares is getting a lot of information, it's still 2 players committed and a third is in that A bomb site as well. It's only Wakadia on the opposite side of the map right now, and he has a number of unwanted visitors on his doorstep.
I'm really liking the decisions Nouns are making in this game so far, especially on their pistol rounds. This one is the correct choice as well. Wakadia very stuck behind Jen, smokes her up. Major cannot see a thing, and Marquis will double up. Very nice stuff from Nouns. Major, you may have a smoke and a kit. If you can get himself into a position to use that, that would be a minor miracle. Nouns going very aggressive here, even a little headshot there from Woxic through the corner of the installation on the window area. But yeah, I think they're going to be falling back to save this. Woxic, of course, has his Kevlar. Major can perhaps use that kit and smoke to be a bit cheeky in the following round. So Nouns have fought their way through here very nicely. 1 pick on A, straight back to B. Works nicely.
Yeah, they're feeling really good. Second pistol round goes their way, and that's going to reduce the gap to just 1 round, and neither Woxic nor Major are going to be able to save their armor or utility. And that reduces the gap to just 1 round. Pretty good stuff coming through from Nouns. Exactly the start they needed to their T side. The question is, do we see a force here from Eternal Fire when Monty were in the same position on an Uber CT side? They force bought. They weren't able to win the force buy. I don't think Eternal Fire will go for the force here, but I guess as the favorites, you're maybe more inclined to go for the force buy because you just want to try and keep up as much pressure as possible.
And you think you can win any round you go into as well, right? You just think, okay, we have the ability to do sometimes what even the game probably should say no to. But yeah, it will be an eco this time around. Eternal Fire letting Nouns reach 7 apiece. Unless something completely wild happens. Xantares has dual leads. If he had a deagle, I'd maybe be slightly more hopeful. We're charging through the corner of a Molotov. We're just about to get past that one. A little boost. But they'll know that is all that's going to be said. Calix cannot even get the 1, and that could not have been a better start to the second half for Nouns. All 5 players alive. They've still got their 3 Mac 10s in play, of course. Be interested to see what they decide to do with that on this round.
I think another reason I had to predict Nouns was because Eternal Fire eliminated Nixa from ESL Challenger Rotterdam last year. And you know what, Trav, as they say in your land, the streets never forget, bro.
The streets never forget. Have to support your boys.
Yeah.
Of course.
Revenge. Either way, big gun round here for Eternal Fire. M4's across the board. It's a weakened buy, obviously, for Nouns as well, carrying 3 Mac 10s through and 2 Galils. This is a bonus round through and through, man.
It really is. The B's are absolutely the right side to go for this sort of burst, though. Get these Mac 10s up close and personal. Thankfully, Eternal Fire at least have a helmet on all 5 players, so the Mac 10s won't be destroying them in one goosh. But look at that utility being flown in here, and all that utility is already going to burn Major out of the round. B-Wills We'll get that one. Dinks exchanged, but another Mac 10 kill comes through. Xantares and Woxic, they will answer back, thankfully. They need more, you feel. Xantares somehow gets another one through the corner of the smoke.
Yeah.
It leaves Cynic and Marky up. And look at Cynic, he's on this flank. Catches Woxic in the back. That, of course, will change up Wikadi's attention, and he just recovers the kill. Marky, 16 and 8 so far in this game. And Xantares, he's gone for this massive rotation behind B. But with the health on the two of them, if Marky guesses this situation, he could absolutely win this out.
I don't think he does, though, because he has the information. Both Xantares and Wicadia were towards CT spawn. Timing of the essence. Xantares going to appear. Bit of a tenderization from the nade, and the flank will work out. Great heads-up play there from Xantares to change his avenue of entry into that B-bomb site, and it is going to be the first round of the second half here for the Turkish team.
Yeah, Eternal Fire knew what Nouns knew, which is why Xantares decided to change it up. And that is a good thing to do in that situation when you're both low. Put yourself in an unexpected area rather than just try a straight up trade when you could get sprayed down in one go. Nice try from Marky and nice try from Nouns though. Again, considering what they had going into that round, I don't think it's that much of a nightmare. They have to force a full reinvestment, of course, from Eternal Fire as well. So now they've got the AKs up. This could still be in the balance. It still is in the balance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If Nouns win this round, then it's eco territory for Eternal Fire. So let's see what round number 16 has in store for us. Huge nade onto CJ. That does a massive chunk of damage. 50 points of health removed. And further through the spam as well. Eternal Fire love contesting ramp. They don't want to let Nouns get past that halfway mark up ramp. They really try and asphyxiate their opponents. And it does look like it's enough to force Nouns backwards.
Yeah. Slow and steady. Calyx just looking for a crack, looking for an arm, looking for a shin of players crossing. And I think he's got some intel now. Looks through the map as if to say, boys, I might need some help in a second. He's gone for a straight up peek. Now that is an error from Calyx. Surely don't expose yourself that significantly. And Nouns realise the situation. They're going to get rid of him straight away. Major will somehow tap Cynic through that smoke, and that's actually the only thing that keeps this round alive for Eternal Fire, it feels like. Yeah,
very retakeable. They've got a flash to get into the bomb site, they've got a molly, they've got a smoke potentially for the defuse, a kit in play as well. CJ doesn't have much health, and Nouns, it's going to be a fairly one-dimensional post plant. Everybody's been forced back towards the stairs. Doesn't look like they're too keen to be proactive in the post plant. Taking up some passive positions. That allows for Eternal Fire to close the gap. Where does Wicadia drop his smoke is the question. Two smokes, both of them end up on the bomb itself. There's the flank coming through from B-Wills. That throws the cat amongst the pigeons. Frags going back and forth right now. Xantares is the one with the kit, looking to stick the defuse. CJ can't hit the spray, and with that, the point will go the way of Eternal Fire.
That hurts for Nouns. I feel like you mentioned they were being pretty passive, right? And I don't think you can afford to do that. Obviously, in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, you would say, okay, sit and play crossfires and we can't lose. In CS2, situations like that, it feels like you're the one who has to take the peaks. You're the one who has to take the initiative. And Nouns just let Eternal Fire do what they want to them.
Yeah, you got to find the balance because we've also seen Nouns overplay their hand in some situations as well. So maybe, you know, a bit of trauma in the back of their minds.
Unfortunately, that's the case. But yeah, they just let Eternal Fire recover that situation all by themselves with all that util. Nice set up there with the double nades off the corner of the crane. Very common, but not necessarily a double in that particular angle.
No one to play catch.
Unfortunately not.
Probably not the game of catch you want to play.
No, no. I'll throw it straight back to you. Like Pummel Party. B-Wills with the Galil. Of course, thankfully, case for Nouns with that bomb plant means they still have a pretty decent investment into this one. Utility's a little bit thin, but it's enough at the moment. B-Will's looking to lurk his way through. I mentioned B-Will's usually that safe pair of hands for this roster. He could be the one about to take point in mid. If Major or if he threw that Incendiary down right then, that would have been spot on timing. 50 seconds. Nades coming in toward the white box area as well. Wicadia really the only one focusing on mid as it stands, and there are 3 players that could be about to come his way. Thing is that Eternal Fire have so much information on map control, because look how far Woxic has pushed down to the bottom of A ramp. Good trade at least from CJ. Calyx will get one back, and in come the frags. Calyx a major. Ooh, big one from Marky. Recovers it into this 2 versus 2. Bomb can go down with 25 seconds, you would think.
Yeah, no one able to be the difference maker just yet. No one with the multi-kill here in the round.
Need to grab
Who
it,
can
though.
split these two teams is the question.
Oh.
Xantares isn't going to find an angle, and that means it's another retake coming through from Eternal Fire. This time, the post plant is a whole lot more doable for Nouns in the 2v2. Marky still locking down the site. A fresh smoke is going to be a tough one for Eternal Fire to navigate here as well. They do have kits and a flash, and they don't have the luxury of time here of waiting for the smoke grenade to dissipate.
Yeah, and they don't have a smoke for the defuse either, so surely Marky has a chance, but Xantares... Yeah, that's what happens. Carson 1 versus 2, 42 points of health, and Xantares just hits another one. What can you do? You think you're playing it correctly, and Xantares just deletes you. Classic Eternal Fire.
Wonderful retake coming through from them. The silver lining there for Nouns is that they've got the round loss bonus and the bomb plant as well, so they'll be able to afford to continue to invest here. I don't want to see their heads dropping though. BO1, MR12, you've always got to keep the faith.
Yeah.
The
Indeed.
loser of this plays against Tai Lu as well in a best of 3. I think that's going to be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess that's something you kind of have to look forward to as Nouns, with it being, you know, Group A.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what did Major say? He says it's the easy group, didn't he?
Yeah, well, Tekkel kind of, you know, asked him. Easier group, see?
He asked him to say yes, almost.
And it's fair enough, mates. I mean, you look at the groups, the teams in Group B, you know, VP, 3D, Max as well. They're looking pretty stacked on that end of the competition. MIBR, Gamer Legion, so...
You're not wrong.
Yeah, certainly is the easier of the two groups.
Indeed.
It does put some pressure on you, though, when you've got that tag of being in the easier group, right? There's that level of expectation.
Yeah. What can you do? What can you do? You have to fight with the cards that you are dealt and do the best with them.
Yeah, that's what Nouns have been doing. They've been trying to fight with their cards. The problem is it's always been like Galil's and a bit light on util here or there. They're almost on the border of being able to afford a full buy, but never quite there. And that's quite rough. Oh my god, those nades are certainly rough. Xantares is spoiled for choice. He'll get a kill. That brings Wakadia into action, and Eternal Fire reigns supreme at ramp.
We saw those nades not work out in the previous round, but they certainly worked out in this one. Ridiculous. That's a real good answer back from Cynic. Just ADing on the ramp gap grate there, making it very hard for Eternal Fire to deal with him. But of course, damage is still significant onto Cynic. Problem is, for Nouns, is that Eternal Fire's rotations are quick. It's going to be very hard for them to fight against the likes of Xantares and Woxic. Woxic's going for a bit of information searching as well. One in the side, not two though. I feel like that's the situation where he maybe could have got that second.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Nouns recover it quickly. 2v2, but look at this setup for Eternal Fire. They have each other's back right now. Calyx and Xantares holding hands and going for a double gap push after Woxic was just there. Surely this is not considered. It's being glanced at. They know at least one more player was here, so they're going to look at it, and that is good heads-up play from B-Wills. But a third, surely not. He'll look for it, and Calyx will take him down. 1v1 versus Marky. Galil versus M4. Molotov on both players now. Calyx not realizing that Marky is still sat behind the default boxes, and Marky will go for the swing. Something Nouns didn't do on those previous afterplants. This time it's Marky to take the initiative. 20 kills on the board. Lifeline for Nouns.
Yeah, buy after buy, finally going to work out here for Nouns. They're able to get one of those broken buys across the line, and they will keep themselves in the game as a result. I mean, it was the most unlikely round of the lot, considering the way things had started falling into the 3 versus 5. But a great job with the double kill meant they recovered it back into an even numbers game. Good awareness there to clear out gap as well, make sure they don't get caught off guard from the multitude of players coming through from there. Now it's Eternal Fire's turn to go for the force buy. Major a bit late to the memo there. Will sell a gun. I'm not sure what he had before, but ends up with the 5-7 and some utility. And this is Nouns' opportunity, man. You win this, it becomes 10-9, anti-eco. We've got a level scoreline at that point.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that would do to the group if Nouns were able to come away with the BO1 victory here?
Aye. Wouldn't that be something? Nouns, nice call in this round as well. Complete mid-take. Elevator smoked off. Carson's holding to the rotations. CJ will find Major, but Wakadia is there to answer straight back. They do have to be wary of these rotations. Carson obviously should be able to hear a lot in the position he's in. He has to keep his eye on 2 separate angles, of course, but there is Carson, and he gets 2. That's more than enough. He's done his job, but Xantares is still running players down, and how he takes Cynic, I'm not quite sure. Calyx 1v2 with just at MP9. They don't know where he is. Tries to tap down both, and look what he puts their health down to. 1 and 20. So close, but Nouns scrape it.
Yeah, not afraid to take the fights in that round either, forcing the issue, getting into the faces of Eternal Fire, and they do a really good job of it as well. Great work coming through from Nouns, breathing life back into their campaign. It's a one-round game, and off the back of that, Eternal Fire are going to have to eco as well.
Indeed. Nouns look like lambs to the slaughter, but they've jumped up and bit the butcher in the last few rounds. Marky, the jump throw molly. Clear out that plywood position close stairs. As long as they don't fall foul of something ridiculous here, Nouns, which, unfortunately, NA are prone to. NA teams are prone to. Hopefully that's not the case this time. I really hope it's not the case this time. Nice tap from Marky. Just pops his head up. Arcadia removed. I mentioned Marky can sometimes fall off slightly on land. There's none of that today, but this round could still have some legs to it. Bear with. Rox has got a MAC 10, Xantara's with an MP9. Anything can happen here.
No, I'm not letting you cook with this one, Trav.
Okay.
Yeah, Nouns have got this. Everybody calm down, take a deep breath. It's going to be casual. Couple kills sure is good for Eternal Fire, but don't think the round's going to snowball from here, unless I'm just completely jinxing them, which would be a disaster. Either way, Woxic's got a flank, so you know what? I am getting slightly nervous right now. Cue the Jaws music.
Caster jinxes don't exist.
Okay.
Woxic gets one. Ooh, almost a second. Hang on a moment. Xantares gets his. And it's Calyx with a USP on 31 HP versus B-Wills, who's full health. Surely not Eternal Fire. B-Wills, oh, he's hit a dink. Goodness gracious me. My heart's in my mouth. How must Nouns feel? They get away with it.
I called it, Trav. All good, casual, job done.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Don't be quiet. You're a caster.
Yeah. I get it. All right, well, that's the scoreline leveled up. And you know what? I think Nouns on this T side, they are going to be in control. They're the ones who get to dictate the pace of the game from this point. They're the ones who have got the momentum behind them. The desk also mentioned, going back to that Marky point, that he was the win factor. He was the player to watch, and he's pitched up in a massive way right now. The Mexican bringing the spice.
It's looking fantastic. And I like what I'm seeing from Nouns as well. In their chairs, facial expressions, looking calm, looking collected. Sometimes, obviously, there are players prone to a little bit of tilt. But right now, there's nothing to tilt about. The only thing that is slightly upsetting for them, of course, is that those 2 rounds, which could have been won cleanly, have come down to the wire. And it means they've built up no economy in the rounds that they've won.
Yeah, I think
rough long term.
I think at this point, though, they'll just take whatever they can get.
Of course. It's better win the round.
Yeah.
Just win the round at whatever cost.
And you know what? If they win this next round, their map point before Eternal Fire get an investment.
And it's a good old-fashioned swing round.
It is.
If there's no saves on either team, someone's going to be on a low buy. Maybe Marky could get a hero AK or something if Nouns do lose it. Antara's tapping away. The flash is really good, and what a great protocol that is for Nouns. Cynic removes arguably the biggest threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. 21 kills to Xantara is his name right now. Couple players still on single digits. And off the back of getting that control and getting that frag, Nouns are just going to reshift their focus here over towards the opposite side of the map. We saw Eternal Fire employ this exact same play in the previous half. It worked very well for them. It's only Calyx on the B side of the map. However, some support is going to arrive in the way of Major.
That's good, because Calyx has been caught off guard a few times on B. Oh, is that Molotov not going to spread? That could be huge for Calyx. Are they going to check quad because of it? His teammate Major's been taken down. Calyx needs more than one, but he can only get that one. Cynic takes him down. Wikadia's in the open. CJ finds Woxic. Hang on a moment, boys. North America are back.
And look at how calm and composed they are right now, Trav. They're not getting overly emotional or ahead of themselves. Cold as ice right now on the side of Nouns. It is incredible to see how much they're holding their nerve. 11-10. Eternal Fire have to eco coming into this next round as well. Not a single player stays alive. They don't carry any guns through. 4 rounds in a row, and Nouns are now just 2 away from our first upset of the event. And what an upset that would be.
It is a significant upset. I mentioned Eternal Fire, right? They're looking okay on LAN. We saw them at the Parry Please event. But to lose in the grand final, 3-0 to 9 Pandas, you would think that on a BO5, you'd at least have a map you're confident on and will at least take.
Yeah.
Apparently not the case. Got swept there. And if they lose the opening BO1 here as well, wouldn't that be something?
Well, I mean, they beat Paravision 2-0, Furia 2-0, MIBR 2-0, lost that final, sure, but they're on the brink of losing here to Nouns.
Yep.
They've got that max round loss bonus behind them, so they've invested what they can afford to and still get a full buy in the next round. Woxix just run it straight down middle like my mid laner in my League of Legends games.
Oh dear, I mentioned Woxic's numbers haven't been good. I will refrain from saying that's a tilt push from Woxic. I don't think it is, but 9 and 17, he is struggling once again.
Yeah.
He's a big factor for Eternal Fire that has not shown up in recent big games. Marky, 24 and 13. Now he certainly is showing up. 5 versus 4. Marky up close, he's got a play on his left, needs to be careful, bit overzealous there, but they are trading really well. Damage is significant. Xantares only just gets it back, but guess what? We've got a 1v1 in an unlikely scenario again.
Oh, he's going
Carson,
through!
he's going through the Molotov. He's going to peek it, but Carson gets away with it on 6 HP. The third round that could have gone either way. Nouns keep on getting through them.
I mean, technically, that was an anti-eco round, and again, it came down to just the one player on Nouns, but they get the points on the board, and they now have 2 match points here in the best of 1 opening game. Major's words, the easy group. And it's not looking good. They've got everything they need here, Trav, and they have to force overtime or it's bust.
Here and now for Eternal Fire. 2 in a row, it has to happen. And looks like Nouns are going to try and up the pace. Now that scares me, because if you say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, well, they've tried to fix it. Thankfully, they've got a 4 versus 4. Good answer back from CJ. And his Xantares is going to be flashed in again. He looks for all the intel. Worried, of course, that smoke, someone may have jumped up, but of course, that's not going to be the case. They've left the scenario straight away.
Yeah, it's an obscure smoke that was deployed there by CJ, and it does kind of just keep Eternal Fire guessing as to what's going on. I do like the re-aggression from Eternal Fire to get info. It's good that they haven't gone into their shells, despite the fact that these rounds haven't been going great. It's not like they're just playing super passive Counter-Strike. They're still sticking to their guns right now. All right. 4 versus 4, sub 1 minute left on the clock. What's the plan for Nouns from here?
Here we go. This could be their biggest international tournament victory.
Yes, to date.
To date. And they're 1 round away from it, and they've got a few chances at it as well. How are the nerves? On the outside, it looks chill. On the inside, I'm sure it's not.
35
DJ.
seconds on the clock now.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get very, very spooky. Woxix,
Yeah.
he needs to step up here. He's been slow. That's a big kill. 4 versus 3. I think he knows the second coming in from that window area. Here's the information, but Marky's found another. Great reaction from Woxix. CJ, though, will deal with Major, and Woxix is so very low. He's trying to be baited out. Look at this from Marky, but he can't make it happen. Woxix's been so quiet, but he steps up with a triple just when required.
Breathes a massive sigh of relief after those sequence of kills as well. Really good work coming through there from Woxix. When they need him the most, he's able to stand tall. Good discipline there not to fire the shot on the jiggle as well. And that's 12-11. We're going the distance here. And the problem is, Nouns' money is nearly non-existent. They don't have a great economy coming into this next round here. So it's going to be pretty bleak in terms of what they can afford to buy.
What a situation. What a situation. So near, but yet so far.
At this point, for Eternal Fire, it's just fighting to save face, man.
I wouldn't say it's hard for me to really say how I think Eternal Fire are feeling right now. I think they're probably feeling under pressure in terms of, what are we doing, boys? This is our map. Vertigo has been our map for ages. Surely this is one we should be taking Nouns down on comfortably.
Here we
As
go.
you can see, Woxix truly did breathe a big sigh of relief here. And look at that buy for Nouns. Are they going to go with pace? 2 MAC-10s, a Tech 9 and 2 AKs. Oh, this could have overtime written all over it.
It does. It does have overtime written all over it. It would be against the grain if that game ended here in the 24th round, considering the investment on both sides. How do Nouns go about their business? They're just playing pack-based mentality right now, working around the map as a unit, all 5 players chained up together. A lot of utility, certainly prioritization of the util coming through for the T side. Some slightly weaker weapons employed as a result. Let's see what they can do here.
Aye. This is going to be insane. Nouns so close to what would be a huge win. Damage done by Arcadia through yellow. Are they going to go for a boost now? Oh my goodness. Mid-round boost for Xantares. It's checked. B-Wills with the Mac-10 takes it. At least it gives Major that AK to upgrade from the MP9. There are so many players still here for Eternal Fire.
The problem is Nouns don't have any players on the other side of the maps. They don't have the option of rotating away from here. They're going to have to commit to the A bomb site. Eternal Fire have 2 players of their own in forward positions. That means they're going to try and play ahead of the smokes. If the smokes come through, it's flashes for now. It's frags as well. All 5 players still alive. They've got control of the A bomb site. Nouns about to accomplish the unthinkable.
Woxic and Calyx, surely not. It's 2v4. They've won a couple of ridiculous retakes in this game. I believe they've played better overall than Eternal Fire. It's only those retakes that saved them at the portion of this first half. It's Woxic and Calyx to try and save this best of 1. Defuse kit on Calyx, couple of smokes available. That could be critical. Surely we don't get a defuse in the smoke. Mac-10 in the open. Woxic takes that one, but CJ finds the last 2. And Nouns have their biggest upset internationally, and they will be delighted. They don't look it. Come on, boys. Where's the celebrations?
Man.
But goodness me, that was insane.
Cold as ice. And you know what? For me, just seeing their reaction shows that they always had belief they could accomplish that result. It's not shocking to them that they were able to win that game. 13-11. Nouns throw a wrench in the works for Group A.
Absolutely ridiculous. And Hayes, you'll be very delighted. You went for Nouns, and you have come up trumps.